In June 2024, Apple stood on stage and promised the world a smarter Siri. They built an entire marketing campaign around it. They called the iPhone 16 the first iPhone built for AI. That was almost 2 years ago. And that smarter Siri? It still hasn't shown up. So Apple did something that shocked the entire tech industry. They went to their biggest rival, Google, and basically said, "We can't do this alone. We need your AI." The result is a completely rebuilt Siri, powered by Google's Gemini, a 1.2 trillion parameter model. But here's the thing, it's already running into problems, and the full version might not arrive until September. Let me break down exactly what happened, what's coming, what's delayed, and why this matters, even if you don't own an iPhone. To understand why this deal is so significant, you need to know what happened behind the scenes. Apple first previewed the smarter Siri at WWDC in June 2024. They showed demos of Siri understanding context, reading your screen, pulling information from your messages and emails. It looked incredible. But it never shipped. Apple quietly delayed it, saying the features would come in 2025. Then 2025 came and went. Still no new Siri. According to Bloomberg's Gurman, Apple's own AI models just weren't performing well enough. The revamped Siri experienced serious issues in internal testing. So Apple started looking outside for help. They reportedly considered 3 options: building everything in-house, which was already failing, partnering with Anthropic, the company behind Claude, or partnering with Google and using Gemini. In January 2026, Apple and Google made it official. A multi-year collaboration where the next generation of Apple Foundation models would be based on Google's Gemini. Apple's own statement said, after careful evaluation, they determined that Google's technology provides the most capable foundation. Translation? We tried. We couldn't do it. Google's AI is better. And reportedly, Apple is paying Google around $1 billion a year for this access. That's on top of the billions Google already pays Apple to be the default search engine on iPhones. The financial relationship between these two companies has never been more tangled. The new Siri is designed to be 3 things the current Siri is not. First, context-aware. Siri will understand what's on your screen. If you're looking at a restaurant review, you can say, "Book a table there," and Siri will know exactly what you mean. If someone texts you an address, you can say, "Get me directions," without specifying where. Second, personally intelligent. Siri will be able to search your messages, your emails, your calendar, and connect the dots. You could ask, "What time is Mom's flight?" And Siri will find the answer from a text your mom sent last week. This is the feature Apple demoed back in 2024, and the one people have been waiting for the longest. Third, action capable. Siri will move from just opening apps to actually doing things inside apps. Send a specific message, edit a photo and share it, find a document and attach it to an email. This is the shift from assistant to agent. And then there's the bigger vision. With iOS 27 in September, Apple reportedly plans to make Siri into a full conversational AI. Back and forth dialogue, like ChatGPT. Multi-step, complex tasks across multiple apps. Apple is calling this version Apple Foundation Models version 11. And they say it will be competitive with Gemini 3, which is currently one of the most powerful AI models in the world. Now, here's where I need to be straight with you, because most channels covering this story are only telling you the exciting parts. The truth is, the new Siri is behind schedule. Again. Apple originally planned to include these features in iOS 26.4, which was targeted for March 2026. But according to Bloomberg, Apple is now spreading them out over future versions. Some features may not arrive until iOS 26.5, expected in May. And the full conversational AI might not land until iOS 27 in September. Why the delay? Internal testing revealed real problems. Siri sometimes fails to process user queries correctly. It has long delays in responses. And testers reported that Siri sometimes cuts users off mid-sentence when they speak quickly. These aren't rare edge cases. They're consistent enough that Apple engineers were told to shift focus to later releases for more testing. There's also a leadership issue. John Giannandrea, the head of Apple's AI and machine learning division, the person who led the Siri effort, is reportedly set to retire in spring 2026, right as the product is supposed to ship. Now, does this mean the new Siri will be bad? Not necessarily. Apple has a history of delaying things until they work properly, and they've confirmed the features are still coming in 2026. But if you're expecting to wake up tomorrow with a genius Siri on your iPhone, that's not happening yet. The realistic timeline is some features by May and the full experience by September. There's one more thing we need to talk about. And it's the question everyone keeps asking. Google, how does handling my personal data through Siri? Here's what Apple says. Most processing will happen on your device or on Apple's own private cloud compute servers. Apple is using Gemini's architecture, the design and training of the model, but running it inside their own infrastructure. The latest prototype reportedly has no Google branding, no Gemini branding anywhere. Apple has fine-tuned the model to respond the way they want. But, and this is important, the more advanced features in iOS 27, the full conversational AI, might require Google's actual cloud infrastructure, because those tasks are too heavy to process on your phone alone. Apple says all data stays encrypted, and Google cannot access it. But Apple hasn't fully explained how this works technically. And until they do, the privacy question remains open. Here's what most people are missing about this deal. There are over 1 billion active iPhones in the world. Today, when Apple ships Gemini-powered Siri, by the way, it instantly becomes the most widely distributed AI assistant on the planet. That has 3 huge implications. First, it validates Google's AI. If Apple, the most selective company in tech, chose Gemini over every other option, including their own models, that tells the market something. Second, it threatens OpenAI. Apple currently has ChatGPT integrated into Siri for complex queries. If Gemini handles everything, that partnership could quietly disappear, and OpenAI loses access to 1 billion potential users. Third, it normalizes AI for everyone. Most people have heard of ChatGPT, but most haven't really used it regularly. When Siri becomes genuinely intelligent, 1 billion people will be using advanced AI every single day, without even thinking about it. That's not a software update. That's a cultural shift. Apple spent 2 years trying to fix Siri on their own. They couldn't do it, so they called Google. The partnership is real. The technology is powerful. But the delays are also real, and the privacy questions are still unanswered. What we know for sure is that Siri in September 2026 will be a completely different product than the Siri on your phone right now. Whether it lives up to the promise Apple made 2 years ago, we'll have to wait and see. If you want to stay on top of everything happening in AI and tech, subscribe to Bullents. We don't just tell you the exciting parts, we tell you the full picture. Drop a comment. Are you excited about the new Siri? Or are you tired of waiting? I want to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.